Good evening and welcome to the 203K in a Box FAQ for consultants, home inspectors, and contractors. I want to thank you all so much for being on the webinar this evening. We are really excited to have you here. I want to basically just My name is Catherine Hall, and I will be your host today for the webinar. And I just want to thank you so much for meeting with me tonight. We've had a lot of interest in this webinar, and we actually have lenders, real estate agents, contractors, home inspectors. We've got some of everybody on this call, and we are so excited to have you with us. The call is going to be recorded, so you don't have to worry about taking a whole lot of notes and messages, and because we're going to be giving you the opportunity to replay this. So also, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to use the chat feature. We have close to 100 people on the webinar. We were actually going to cap it at 65, but we met that so soon that we actually let it go up to about 100. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to hit them in the chat box. And what we're going to do is we'll probably answer them. Either they probably will be covered during this event, or we'll answer them privately after the event. We'll send out an email directly to you with an answer to your chat, okay? So I want to welcome you again to the webinar, and let's just begin, okay? So I want to just basically give you and everything that has to be done, everything that can be done to make 203K a viable I want to basically welcome all of you on the slideshow, on the presentation today. And I'm going to start off by just asking you a couple of quick questions. Now, I want you to know that even though I can't totally see you, I really can see you. And I'm watching you right now. And so even though you don't think I can see you, if I say raise your hands, I really want you to raise your hand. If I say turn to your neighbor, if you don't have a neighbor, just turn to yourself. And anything I ask you to do, I even ask you to stand up, is to help keep that blood flowing. So we've got 60 minutes. I've got a lot to cover, and I want to be able to get all of it in. So please share with me. Audience participation is critical, and I just want to be able to make this as fun for you as it's going to be for me. All right, so let's get started. For profit and freedom. Or, whoops, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. There we go. Okay, so leveraging your skills for profit and freedom, or, I'm trying to get this screen to go up. All right, there you go. Next slide, please. There we go. Or, what's in it for me? So we're going to talk about what's in it for me. And first of all, I want to welcome you all. Again, my name is Catherine Hall, and I am the Executive Director of the National Association of FHA Consultants. And the first thing that I really want to do before we actually get going is I want to welcome you, and I want to acknowledge you for being here. Because, yeah, what's in it for me is important, but you took the time to show up. And 80% of success in life, in business, in anything, is truly just showing up. So I want to applaud you for taking that step of showing up today. So turn to yourself, or basically look at yourself and say, congratulations for showing up. All right, say it out loud. And people will think you're crazy, but that's good. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to help you understand how you can leverage your existing skills. Now, as I said, we have contractors, we have lenders, we have home inspectors, and even some real estate agents. And a lot of you are finding that your current business activities take time, take a lot of effort, and time is the one commodity we don't have. So let me ask you this question. How many of you believe that your ability to succeed in business today is directly related to your ability to respond to the needs of the community and the needs of the market? Raise your hand. Excellent. Thank you. And I have another question for you. How many of you believe that the quicker you're able to serve the needs of the community and get up to speed on completing any kind of a task, the faster you'll be able to be profitable at that task? In other words, the quicker the learning curve, the quicker the income. Raise your hand if you believe in that. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. So you're in the right place. Congratulations, because today you're going to learn how to capitalize on the unique and specialized wealth of knowledge that you already have in a way that will truly free more time, increase your bottom line, and give you more enjoyment and more fulfillment than you already are probably experiencing your jobs now. And I'm not saying that you currently aren't enjoying and having a great deal of fulfillment. Anytime you're helping other people, you are. But this is a great way, because what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a way that not only can you do all these things, but you're going to be able to improve neighborhoods and give people homes that they can be proud of, homes that are safe and sound and inexpensive to live in. And what better gift can you give in this world than to help someone else? So we're going to help you learn that you can either grow your business or even scale it back without the usual financial downturns that come with either of those activities, while creating profitable relationships that will bring business to you. So now raise your hand if that's good or good. Great, exactly. So now I believe that a person will not hear a person's words until they know who that person is. So if I may, can I tell you a little bit about my journey as a business owner? Well, there I am. And as you can see, I do not look like a future building consultant. In fact, my plans for my career as I was growing up was to enter into the performing arts. I'm sure you can imagine that. And there you can see me right there with my Chippendale slippers on. So this was important in life. But how many of you here, raise your hand or hit the chat button and say me or I, how many of you here, you are using your skills in the home inspection industry, the consulting industry, now that you developed from another industry? Well, that's exactly how I was. I actually was an electrical engineer and enjoyed doing major corporate build outs in Los Angeles. And making a long story short, I came back to Pennsylvania and started Value Home Inspections. Value Home Inspections was a company where I held a government contract to do home inspections for people who were getting homes that were underwritten by the federal government. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the term CDBG. And with those CDBG funds, Community Development Block Grant, the house has to pass minimum property standards. So we developed an expertise very early on in how to create a report that identified FHA minimum property standards, and we had to identify what the repairs were, what the cost of those repairs would be, and then when the contractor completed or the seller completed the repairs, we got paid to re-inspect it. So we had a $100,000 contract for 6 years, and so we didn't need to market for any business until 2005. The contract ended. And what else ended in 2005? A lot of things. That's when the mortgage meltdown happened. And so we needed to change the way we got our business. And so what happened was we had a 10-year-old company that was in the same position as a startup, because for 6 years, we grew our business to 4 inspectors and we were getting business from the fax machine, literally. And all of a sudden, I had all this overhead and no revenue. And so I had to quickly get to a place where I could earn an income and be able to generate business. And I knew that the fastest way to get real estate agents and lenders and people to hear about me was through group education like this. And so I actually went into partnership with the Keystone Real Estate Academy, which was a lending company. And we actually taught continuing education to real estate agents. And I was the director of education, still am actually. And we actually highlighted on different and non-traditional mortgage lending projects. So we talked about, you guessed it, 203K, energy efficient mortgages, Fannie Mae home style, all the things that I and my company excelled at, we used in our marketing and in our group education. And so our business grew. But one of the things that made our business grow, and how many of you are familiar with the term a USP? So our USP was that we were familiar with housing quality standards, HQS, or otherwise termed minimum property standards. And so with that being the case, all of our inspectors in my company, another one of my USPs, is that all of my home inspectors are 203K consultants. And so I was able to quickly train and make the employees that I had for me successful as FHA consultant. And one of my wonderful mentors in this business, Mike Crow. I'm sure many of you are familiar with him and the Millionaire Inspectors community. I was a member of that community for quite some time. He told me if I could package, I could recreate this frequently. I had literally a box that I gave to my new inspectors to train them to become consultants. He said, then you should package this and give this to other people to work with. And it was one of the ways that my company was able to grow and become a Better Your Best contest finalist, not once, but actually twice. And then with the growth of the membership in 203K in a Box, with the number of consultants that we were able to successfully train, to educate, and to provide resources, to this day, we actually decided, you know what, let's take it to the next level. And we created the National Association of FHA Consultants. So as the National Association of FHA Consultants, we're dedicated to empowering, educating, and endorsing all elements of the FHA world and 203K consulting. So that's a little bit about me. Let's talk a bit about you. So how many of you are in a position now that you're working to grow your business? Well, who isn't? In front of real estate agents? I know it is for us. I have a marketing team, and they tell me every week, nobody's in offices. Everyone's working from home. They occasionally go into the office sales meetings, and we try to accommodate that activity. But getting in front of real estate agents is more and more difficult every day. So is there another way that you can generate income? And what are some of those ways to do it? Well, one of the people that you might want to be able to get in front of is mortgage lenders, because mortgage lenders, like you, are connecting with the real estate agents. And those individuals are looking every day for new and different ways to get the real estate agents to work with their companies. Guess what? Just like you are as a home inspector, 203K consultant, and as a contractor. So with that being said, what is the opportunity for you to be able to generate this income with an understanding of 203K? Let's show you. Talked about not getting in front of real estate agents. Let's talk a little bit about what home inspection is. Well, what is a home inspection really? Well, one would say that it's an evaluation of the report that provides information useful to a buyer in the process of purchasing the home. Yes, but is a home inspection really a roadmap to closing, or is it more of a roadblock to settlement? I would say it's a roadblock. Not that it's not a valuable resource, but it does have situations that when you identify, stops a person from getting the home. So what do you do if when you're doing your home inspection report, or you're a contractor and you go out to a property and you see a home that looks like this? What do? You know that you're not going to look like the good guy, because what do you say to a situation when you have a client that's telling you this kind of a situation? So let's talk about that. Check this out. Think about this. When you are doing your home inspections, you are really not the person who is helping them get to closing. But what if you were able to give them a resource that could turn that upside down house right side up, that could give them the ability to replace the windows and to make the home not only habitable, but a showplace? And why would you want to do that? Well, when you think about yourself as a home inspector, look, what really do we do? As an inspector, we are always looking for things that could be wrong with a property. We are trained to look for cracks, for mistakes. Too many times we bear the burden of delivering bad news. But some inspectors have discovered a way to use their skills and talents to instead create a vision of what could be, to look for the good, to create opportunity, and become the hero. The 203K in a Box program is the #1 system for new and veteran 203K consultants. It's the place you can feel confident, knowing you have a team of experts backing you up. That I'm here to hold your hand. You are not alone in this anymore. We are rebuilding neighborhoods and giving communities new life, one home at a time. you deserve to be recognized as the hero. And you actually do deserve to be recognized. We spend as in the industry really breaks down to only about $31 per hour with travel and marketing and follow-up and report writing time. I'm sure right now that there are people here on this call who actually are waiting to get back to go doing their inspection reports. I get it. So what could you do differently? And why should you consider 203K Consulting? Well, first of all, 203K Consulting is something that is very viable right now. And why should you do it? It's because, whoops, and we're froze. Now for a second. Trying to get the slides to work. All right, there we go. So why should you do 203K Consulting? First of all, as I identified, right now you're making approximately $31 to $40 per hour for your services as a home inspector and contractor. Some of you are getting even less than that when you break down all of your expenses and your salaries for your employees and your subs and insurances and etc. So what if you could be able to be functioning in a capacity that could earn you fees of up to $1,000 per property prior to closing, and all of those fees are paid to you by the borrower, and there's no fee resistance because the fees that they pay you are reimbursed to them at the close of escrow. So wouldn't that be a great way to be able to leverage your time more effectively? Why do I say you're leveraging your time? Well, think about this. Before closing, if you were able to perform a home inspection, a 203K feasibility review, and a work write-up all on one property and make $1,250 from that one home, not including mold inspection, termite, radon, septic, and other ancillary services that are all necessary with a 203K mortgage, just like a regular home inspection, that fee is on one home. How many homes do you have to inspect right now to make $1,250? And for each of the homes that you have to inspect to get to that $1,250, how much liability are you incurring? How much travel time? How much driving? Because remember, for this project, you're only going out to the home one time to earn this income. And then here's the fun part. After closing on a typical $35,000 project, you earn draws of anywhere from $0 to $350, your choice, plus mileage. So typically we charge $200 to $250 per draw in my market, and that's the model that I teach the people who are involved in the 203K in a Box training program. So here you can see that even if the project just has 3 draws, and how many of you know of any renovation or rehab project that doesn't have at least 1 or 2 change orders? None in my mind, exactly. So here you can see that this project after closing had 2 change orders and 3 draw inspections for a total of $834.20. So those of you who are in the construction industry or have done phased construction draws, how long does a phased construction draw take really? 30 minutes at most. The most amount of time you spend is getting to the property. And when you're an FHA consultant and you have 5 or 10 projects in your pipeline at any given month, you can schedule one whole day to do just phased construction draw inspections. You drive around going from draw to draw to draw, getting anywhere from 7, possibly even up to 9 if they're close together in the one day. So think about it. If you're doing, let's keep it reasonable so people aren't thinking I'm just making these numbers up. Let's just say you have 5 draws on one day a week. So at $200 a draw, that's $1,000 for the one day, guaranteed to be paid to you by a check from the lender every day, every one day a week. That's $4,000 of added revenue with absolutely no marketing. The contractors need you to come out to get paid because they can't get paid unless you inspect. And the lender's HUD guideline actually recommends that you do phased construction draw inspections at least once every 30 days. So just on 203K projects alone, you can earn $4,000 a month. So isn't that going to free up your time? How much less work do you have to do if you're able to earn that kind of income on just one day's work? So let's total that up, because on this one job, Before closing, it's $1,250. After closing, $834. So a total of $2,084.20. Again, let's do the math. That's 3 visits to the property after closing, 1 visit to the property before, and you get paid for every mileage. How many home inspectors out there get paid for mileage now? Pretty much not many of us. So if you are a typical home inspector in the market today, and you're earning around $400 per home inspection, not including ancillary fees, you would have to do over 5 inspections to get this, 5 separate trips, 5 separate reports, and think about it, 5 separate issues with possible liability, 5 separate conversations with listing agents, 5 separate possible conversations with sellers, 5 separate needs to market to the agents to get that order. This is all one project, one real estate buyer's agent, one lender. This is how you want to be able to free up your time. And do you see yourself having more time in your life if you could be able to earn this on one property? Some of you right now would see just doing one property a month more than enough income to be able to make it work for you. So what are the other reasons for doing 203K consulting, and why now? Well, first of all, there is almost no competition. Lenders right now are actually calling consultants from other states, asking them if they will cross state lines to be able to do work because they can't find consultants in their own states. I've been tasked by lenders, and there's a lender on the call today from a company called Starkey Mortgage, who actually we met at our live event in Boulder, Colorado, who actually has encouraged us to find consultants around the country, let them know where we have consultants who are trained, qualified, and excited to do 203Ks, and they will then grow the business. So you see, this program, this industry lives on the process of if you build it, they will come. You don't have to wonder how many are being done now. That's not the question. The question is how many could be done if I were doing them. So 90% of the leads come from lenders. And in fact, the lender must submit you a request before you can begin doing the project. The lenders are the ones who are looking for the consultants, not the real estate agents. And in fact, you'll find that most real estate agents don't even show up to the appointment because they think of this as part of the mortgage process. And this is a great way to this is a great way to generate income. It's just usually you and your borrower going through the home. Liability, well, I already talked about that. If you only have to do 1 inspection to earn $2,000, that's that much less liability, but it even gets better than this. You see, with the 203K loan program, what you do is you're creating a work write-up that identifies mandatory safety and soundness repairs. Then you submit the report to the underwriter, who will then submit it to the appraiser. The appraiser goes out to the property, and he then identifies that, yes, all mandatory safety and soundness repairs are covered under the work write-up. This loan is adequate to move to closing, and the home meets FHA minimum standards. So is there any further liability to you after closing? No, because an independent, non-affiliated appraiser has come behind you and confirmed that these are the things that need to be done to meet FHA minimum standards. And that's the kind of protection you need. What's another bit of protection? The fact that on every renovation loan, there's a minimum of a 10% contingency reserve added to the repair amount to cover unforeseen problems after closing. And if you think about it, home buyers, when they call you up, they don't care that they have a problem. Yes, they're upset and annoyed that something has gone wrong, but they're more concerned with who's going to pay for it. So if you have a bucket of money available to cover any unforeseen problem that may arise after closing, and we teach you how to be able to implement this contingency reserve, not just for mandatory unforeseen problems, but also for desired improvements and upgrades that weren't included in the scope of work, borrowers are delighted with you, and they love you and their new home. So, quicker inspections? Absolutely. I can do a 203K consultation, and you'll learn as well, with no utilities on. In fact, it's easier. The worse the condition of the home, the easier it is to do a consultation because you're basically going to replace everything. Unlike with a home inspection or a contractor, when you go out to a property, you have to list every single thing that's not right. As an FHA consultant, all I have to do is say what I need to do to make it right. So I can go into a gutted shell, and instead of describing that every single room doesn't have drywall, doesn't have flooring, doesn't have proper windows, I can make a single statement in the windows category that says, provide and install new vinyl thermal pane windows at all rooms, all areas. Bingo. How easy is that? I can do a 203K, and you will too, consultation appointment in usually an hour and a half, regardless of the size of the home. So it's quicker, less labor, because you're limited to the evaluation level that an appraiser does. So you're not required to go on the roof. You don't take covers off electrical panels. And for crawl spaces, you just basically, in attics, all you have to do is put your head in an area and shine a flashlight. The same level of care as an appraiser. Do we sometimes exceed that level of care? Sometimes, most times actually, but you don't have to. And this is why a lot of home inspectors and contractors who are finding that doing home inspection and contracting is very difficult on the knees, on the arms, on the back, are turning to 203K consulting as a way to maintain their income, but reduce the amount of work that they have to do. So now I said to you, why now? Well, the news is full of content about growing demand for 203K all over the country. Here, this article says, low inventory woes is now the right time for rehabs. And this one here, more first-time home buyers are open to renovation loans. And this article here is a Chicago article that says, tight inventory pushes more buyers to fixer-upper loans. And as we're giving you a recording of this, you actually can copy these links so that you actually can access this information and view these articles. But you can simply go to any Google and type in 203K loans and hit the button that says news, and you'll find page after page after page of articles and information about the need for 203K consulting in our industry right now. So now, how do you fit this in your business model? It's very simple. You see, you already have all the tools necessary. If you have been in business as a home inspector for 3 or more years, or you have a background in the residential building trades of 3 or more years, and if you are in a state that has a licensing requirement for home inspectors, you either have or will get that license, you are right now ready to be an FHA 203K consultant. The process for certification is not difficult. In fact, the way we have set it up with a done-for-you system, it's actually a matter of point and click, create the package and send it off in the mail. And the ways you can use your new knowledge as an FHA consultant are vast. There are many different types of loans that are used for energy efficient mortgages. The energy efficient mortgage is, for 203K consulting skills. I was looking at energy efficient mortgage, and that's going to be one of the upcoming webinars. Just to give you a little heads up, we're going to have 3 additional series of webinars. This is just the first in a series of 4. You've got the 203K rehab loan. You've got the energy efficient mortgage. You've got conventional rehab loans, and you've got home energy scoring. All ways that you can utilize your information and your knowledge to help clients who are getting specialized and non-traditional lending opportunities. Oh, and not to mention investors. A ton of our business comes from investors who want us to provide them with the work write-up of what their contractor will need to do to the property after they purchase it to make sure it meets FHA mortgageability for when they sell it to an FHA buyer. So these are great things that you can do with your skills. You can do real estate agent education. And here's the cool part. You go into a lender's office and they actually have offices inside real estate agencies. And instead of trying to get a real estate agent to talk to you in a real estate office, you ask for the loan officer and let him know that you have several PowerPoint presentations designed to help educate and promote the use of non-traditional loans like Fannie Mae and 203K, so that they can actually get this information to the real estate agent and they schedule the meeting, and all you have to do is show up. You can do home buyer education sessions where you actually can teach existing home owners and home buyers. We actually recently conducted a class sponsored by the Philadelphia Corporation for Aging. I'm in the Philadelphia, Delaware Valley, and the Philadelphia Corporation for Aging, PCA, sponsored an education course for people who were looking to transition into retirement communities and assisted living, and explain to them how 203K loans could be used to upgrade their existing property, many that have a lot of deferred maintenance, and those FHA mortgages are assumable by the future buyer. And they can do a 203K refinance, and in many cases get no out-of-pocket expense at all, except for your fees, which are deducted from their closing costs. No out-of-pocket expenses at all for the process of rehabbing the property with a 203K refinance. You can upsell in your home inspection services to give information that helps a borrower understand whether or not they're going to qualify for that FHA mortgage. And of course, you use it with the 203K and EEM loans. So now some of you have sent me messages and said, well, how do I know if anybody's doing it in my area? How do I know if I'm needed? Well, first of all, if you're getting asked the question, do you do FHA inspections? That question is really, can you do a 203K consultation? That's actually a misinterpretation or a misuse of the phrase, but that's what they're looking for. They're looking for you to inspect the property to determine FHA minimum property requirements. And what is your answer right now? Are you a FHA consultant who has had some struggles with trying to get reports out quickly and effectively? We have an answer for that too. So a lot of you also are concerned and wondering, well, I'm not in a low income market. I don't think I need 203K. And I got a lot of those emails as well. Well, how's this for low income? The maximum loan limit in most areas of the country for a single family residence is $417,000. And in some high limit areas like Los Angeles or New York City, the loan limit for a single family residence starts at $625,000. In Hawaii, it's actually $800,000 for a single family loan limit minimum, the maximum loan limit for a single family residence in Hawaii. So this is how you can see that the opportunities for you to be able to use this are not just strictly limited to low income home buyers. And so I just want to give you an idea. I've showed you what it is. I showed you why you should do it. I show you where there's business opportunity, and I've shown you how you can leverage this skill in multiple ways. And isn't that the definition of something that's usable? Is when you can use it in multiple environments? Isn't that something that's practical and economical? So let's go through the flow of events. When you as a consultant create the feasibility report or preliminary work write-up, our system, using the Genesis Rehab reporting system, creates an automatic contractor bid. If the repairs are less than $32,000, and usually you're going to earn an income of about $450 plus mileage, not including ancillary services. And so then the repairs, if it's less than $32,000, the borrower can then move on to a 203K limited. So it used to be called the streamlined 203K. So if you've heard that term, it's now called the limited 203K. But let's say the repairs are greater than $32,000. Then you're going to need to have a contractor bid on the project because it's going to need to go with a full 203K. And so they send you that completed bid, and then you complete the work write-up. You get more money based upon the repair amount of the total cost of the escrow, of the repairs added to escrow, and then they go to closing. And then after that, you start doing your draw inspections. So here's what 203K looks like in the real world. This is an example of a property that had been vacant for 15 years. This is what it looks like today. This was a $200,000 renovation. I actually made close to $4,000 in fees from this project. And change orders, additional draw fees, and architectural review, plan review fees. We did a lot with this home, and it turned out worthwhile. But you're not only going to have a property that is tore up from the floor up, like I like to say. This was a home that was in excellent condition in right outside of New York City in North Brunswick, New Jersey. And as you can see, the home is in decent condition. It's got a nice kitchen. It's got a beautiful custom range and has a sub-zero refrigerator on the corner. But the homeowner didn't like all this. They wanted something better. They wanted something brighter. They wanted something new. So they used the 203K strictly to actually rehab and upgrade the kitchen. And we also added a bathroom on the first floor. Remember I talked about rebuilding neighborhoods and having that feeling that you're helping people? Well, this was a situation where a person had been hit, their home had been hit by Hurricane Katrina. And the contractor that they hired took the money from their settlement, and this is what he left them with. He didn't finish. He got the first floor was done, and he stopped up here. And this poor borrower was left with a place where her son had to sleep, as you can see, on a cot on the floor with no heat and no conditioned space. So we were able to help this person by with a 203K refinance also, take that area and turn it into this. And this little room over here is a beautiful 3-piece bathroom, 3/4 bath, stall, shower, commode, and sink. And you can see where we have our drop-down attic. This is where I was inspecting it on the final draw inspection. So do you think I was feeling very warm and happy about myself? So 203K consulting is easy and it's foolproof. You actually can be able to generate an income that's going to take you in a way that's going to help you generate income and an opportunity that's going to give you the freedom and the power to be able to chart your own destiny. And I love doing 203Ks. So last year, I did an average of 15 203K projects every month. I don't work that much in my local company because I'm traveling the country as executive director of NAFHAC, talking to lenders, getting them to be able to work with our organization as opposed to just going to the HUD roster, which is pitiful. And many people on that roster are not even alive, literally. So I'm actually out and about. So I only do 15 projects a month. And even at that, I'm making about $13,000 a month. Just doing part-time. I do 12 initial feasibilities a month, which is about 3 a week. I do 1 day of just 203K consultations. I have 1 day of draws. The work write-ups that are sit here, 8 work write-ups, those are actually not even done by me. With our new Genesis software, my back office assistant actually is able to process all the necessary work write-ups because the contractor's numbers are inserted into a portal electronically, so we don't have to handwrite or retranscribe numbers. They hit a button and their numbers are imported over to us. And as you can see, that $2,800 almost covers her salary. So I'm able to pay for my back office assistant part of her wage to comes just from the work write-ups that we do. And there's our draws, as I said, 20 draws at an average of 200 each. That's 5 draws a week on 1 day a week. I only work in my office about 3 days a week. So 2017, I've already exceeded projections because I've actually farmed this off to additional employees in my company. And so we're actually doubling this with the multiple inspectors that we have doing 203Ks. How are we making this work? We have the Genesis 203K success system. And with this system, we give you done-for-you resources for consultant certification, business referral leads, lender, realtor, and client marketing. And we also give you personalized coaching and mentoring. We have a great program that helps you to be able to understand exactly what the role of 203K consulting is. We make it so that you're easily able to get your program up to speed without any hesitation or any problem. We have the Genesis Rehab software, which is completely web-based, 100%, and it's easy to use. Our system has workflows that actually walk you through every step of the process, so you don't have to wonder, what do I do next, unlike some other systems. And we actually give you ability to track all your projects easily online, so you know exactly at what stage every one of your jobs is at. We actually allow you to have your contractors and your consultants managed all in one site for you as a company owner. With multiple consultants and multiple contractors, you can manage them all in your one portal. No other system on the market does it. So now the question is, what do you do? How do you get to the place where you can be able to understand the requirements of a 203K project? How do you know what to say when someone calls you up? How do you get certified? How do you understand what FHA minimum property standards are and how to evaluate it? How do you get the hands-on training that you need to be able to do 203K consulting? Well, the first and the best way to do is to learn with and from the best. And what you're looking at here are some of the slides from the recent 203K Discovery Days at the House of Horror that we did in Boulder, Colorado in May of this year. Some of you actually probably saw invitations and got invited to that event. And there you can see this was day 1. Everyone's networking and just meeting and greeting each other. Well, that actually was a pilot program that we started. We did it just there at the Boulder, Colorado International House of Horror, Internachi House of Horrors. And we didn't want to start out big because we wanted to make sure that this was something people wanted and needed and would benefit from. And we actually trained all these individuals and gave them certification, education, and hands-on training in an actual House of Horrors in a day and a half. And when we finished the event, we got comments. And the comment that came up from every single person was, wish it was longer, would have loved to have had more education, more training, more information. And so guess what we've done now? So now we have taken it to the next level. We actually now have expanded this training into the 203K Super Conference. And it's going to be held October 6th to 8th in Weston, Florida, which is actually outside of Fort Lauderdale. And this is at the brand new ProLab InterNACHI House of Horrors that they have just created. It's not even open yet. It's going to be opening up at the end of August, beginning of September. So we're going to be the first group to be able to go through it. And we're going to take what we taught in a day and a half, and we're going to expand on it. And in fact, day 1 and day 2 will be hands-on training in the House of Horrors. It will also be you learning how to get certified, learning how to use the software, and actually completing a report using the Genesis Rehab Reporting System. Every person who attends the event, existing members and you already have it, but every person who attends this event, and I have a special surprise for you all right now, will receive free use of the Genesis Rehab Reporting System. And in addition to that, we have a special gift for all of you today. We're going to give all of you introductory complimentary membership in the National Association of FHA Consultants at the candidate level. If you are an already certified consultant, all you need to do to become an actual certified member of NAFHAC and be listed on our roster of FHA approved consultants is take a simple knowledge assessment test that we provide for you. And once you've passed that test, we know that you have the necessary prerequisites and knowledge to do 203K consulting. But I need to let you know, the lenders that we're working with, for example, those who are on this call today, are looking for the consultants that they have working with them to be using the Genesis Rehab Project Creating System. And so that's why we give you a starting free membership in the Genesis system so you can try it before you buy it. And I'll also give you a little spoiler alert. Membership in the National Association of FHA Consultants with full use of the Genesis Rehab Project Creator is just $59. So what do you need to do? The next step is that you want to register for the 203K House of Horrors. We want you to join us at the house because we want you to be able to benefit from the opportunity. And so what we're doing is we're having a special gift for you right now. And so what we're doing is, if you look on your screen in the corner underneath the chat box, you'll see a button that says join us at the 203K Super Conference. We're giving a special webinar price. The cost of this super conference right now is the regular price for this super conference is $247. We have a special early bird special pricing of $127. So if you click the link right now, you'll see that the price is $127 a person. However, if you click that link today and you enter the code WIIFM for What's in It for Me, What's in it for you is a discount to just $75. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of an inside information here. I'm actually holding this event, but the host of the event is ProLab and InterNACHI. Their joint House of Horrors is hosting us. And they're requiring me to pay $75 per person for meals and facility use for the entire 3 days. Not $75 per day, but $75 per person per day. Now, think about all the overhead and additional expenses that I'm actually incurring to be able to put this on. I have speakers who are going to be coming in, talking about marketing, how to get in front of a TV camera, how to promote your business. I'm hoping to be able to have someone who'll be able to spend about 3 hours talking about HERS rating and how to interact with a HERS rater, or even maybe how to become a HERS rater. And so we're going to have speakers coming in. We're going to have activities. We're going to have a party night one of the nights of the event. And we're looking to be able to host a golf outing on the Monday, October 9th at the end of the conference. So now we're going to give you, just for the next short period of time, I believe this offer will end in just 3 days. We're giving you 72 hours to be able to book your registration. And when you do, you will be able to pay just $75 per person for all 3 days. We're working on completing the finalization of a room block at a hotel directly across the street for $97 a night. So if you think about it, For less than the cost of one home inspection, you will be able to come to the event, not including travel, of course. You'll be able to attend the event, including your hotel, and breakfast and lunch are going to be provided all 3 days of the event, and dinner will be provided 2 of the days. So the third day of the event is going to be an extra special bonus day. It's going to be the back office training session. So if you have a person who handles your phones, processes reports, does marketing, you want to invite that person to come as well. And for just $75, they can come to the whole event, or they can come to just the one day. And so you can add that person and just tell them they need to come for the one day and learn how to upgrade the back office. We're going to teach how to integrate with Inspection Support Network. And we will have Michelle Schilla of Inspection Support Network. We're hoping to be able to, we're actually getting confirmation right now as we speak for having them come and give an education breakout session for those during one of the lunches for people who need to get up to speed on ISN. We have full integration with ISN, including autoresponders and actual templates for you to use that you actually can turn on once you become a NAFHAC member. So that's the first step. The first step is to click this link and enter the code WIIFM. The next thing that you want to do after that is call a loan or mortgage agent that you know and let them know that you are going to be adding 203K Consulting to your business so that you can do more projects together with them. And trust me, when you tell them that, they will be ecstatic. In fact, some of them are going to actually say, "Are you a consultant now? Oh, can we start work together? I mean, I have some jobs that I was looking for a consultant, couldn't find anybody. Please hurry up." And in fact, because of the nature of this industry, the mortgage industry, many 203K projects will sit and wait for you to get approved for them to process the loan. Because think about it. Where is that distressed house going anyway? We talked about all the different articles that were relating to the fact that properties were not moving because of the distressed condition. So there's no rush like a typical real estate transaction. In fact, I'm able to travel the country. Another thing I love about being a 203K consultant is because of the freedom I have and the flexibility of when I perform consultations. So now this is a step, and I know it seems like it's, pie in the sky kind of thing, but it's not. I think about all the things in life that I could have been doing if I had just taken a chance and just stepped out in faith and trusted in my abilities. Here's an example of one of the things that I did. I went on a personal development retreat, and part of it was testing our limits and testing our limitations. And most of the limitations we have, we create ourselves. And you see where it says start? Well, we had to climb up that telephone pole, and then we had to walk across that pole, just grabbing those ropes that are hanging down vertically from the top. Now, the way they have these ropes set up, the first rope you cannot get to if you're holding on to the telephone pole. You have to literally reach out and grab it. Now, I had been trained how to do it. I had watched everybody else go ahead of me, and while I watched them, I just kept getting more nervous and nervous, and everyone else went up, did it, and got it over with, and they were better for it, and they were happy. More than me, I'm standing there watching everybody else, getting more anxious, saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I know I'll be better for it if I do, but just totally afraid. I was the last person to go up that pole. And they told me, just reach. You got to let go of the pole to get to that first grapevine. Now, of course, I had a protective harness on and all that jazz, but I had to let go of what I was comfortable with to be able to reach my goal. And when I did, I was able to get to the other side, because once I made that first leap and reached out and grabbed that first vine, the next one was easier and then easier. And as you can see, the last one was right there at the last pole where I could just simply climb down, and everything was easy from then on. So what are holding you back? What's keeping you from taking that next step? Is it that you're not sure what to do? Well, we're going to provide that education. Is it that you don't know who to do it with? We're going to network you with lenders and real estate agents and agencies. Is it that you're afraid to see who else has gone before you and to observe what their success is? We're going to connect you with people who are totally successful in the 203K industry every day of the week through our membership groups and through all the networking that you're going to have. When you click that link to the sales page that tells you all about the information in the order page, you're going to see a video of one of our newer members, and she talked about great networking, great people. This is what it's all about. So are you ready to take your business to the next level? Are you ready to work harder? Are you wanting to work harder for more money or smarter with less headaches? You can do this. This is easy. And once you realize that this is something that's going to make your life more enjoyable, you're going to have more free time to do the things that matter in life. You're not going to have to sit at home every single night and every Saturday night and sometimes Sunday writing inspection reports because you have to deliver them by 8 or 10 or 12 noon the next day. Why is that? Because as an FHA consultant, the turnaround time for delivering reports is usually 3 to 5 business days. Because you are a consultant, you're not a home inspector. The requirements for you to deliver the report are not as stringent because the time frame for completing the transaction are not as time sensitive. In fact, you actually have an opportunity where you can go away, you can go on trips, and they'll wait for you to come back to do the consultation. So you go on vacation right now, and someone calls you to do a home inspection, you have to say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm on vacation. Can you wait till I come back next week? And like, no, I've got to have it in the next 2 days. Raise your hand if that's happened to you. Absolutely. And then what did you do? You lost the business. And sometimes you've even lost that order, and sometimes it led to losing the entire account because someone else decided to work a little harder to take it from you. By what do they do? Undercut your price or give free things that don't make sense. The fees that you charge as an FHA consultant are HUD regulated. So there's no other person who's going to charge more or less than you. It's going to be all about your customer service. It's going to be about your quality of care, the resources and the systems that you have and will put in place that will make you successful. All of these systems are pre-done for you, proven and tested by consultants all around the country right now who you will meet at the 203K Super Conference in October. So what's your next step? As I said, click the link right here on your webinar. And for the next 72 hours, if you use the code WIIFM in all capital letters, because this is what's in it for you, you'll be able to get your admission to the conference for just $75. And you can add any additional person you like for an additional $75. Believe me, after 72 hours, this price will go up. Okay? And so I don't want you to miss out on this. And so I want you to know what this has done for me. Why I love 203K. And I really do. As a matter of fact, that's going to be the article for my monthly newsletter for the month of August. It's why I love 203K. Here's why I love 203K. The freedom 203K Consulting gave me allowed me to be there within 2 hours of the birth of my granddaughter, Savannah. And that was in February. It also allowed me to be there to spend my grandmother's 100th birthday in May of this year. I was able to be there with her and spend the whole day with her as she celebrated 100 years on this earth. And the stories we talked about and the memories that we shared was worth more to me than any inspection income. I was able to be there for my granddaughter, Kayla, as she was able to be selected for the Delaware Naval Academy, Junior JROTC Academy, which was a great honor for me. So I was able to be there for her. And I also got to hold my newest granddaughter there as well. And most recently, I was able to spend 10 days in Albuquerque, New Mexico with my son, who is a Osprey Air Force pilot, and my newest granddaughter, Maeve Angelica, who here in this picture, she's just 5 weeks old. I was able to spend 10 days helping my son and his wife set up housekeeping for their baby. And actually, they're preparing to move to Florida. He's being transferred. And I was able to be there to participate in her christening. Those are the memories that I made when I was not on a home inspection. These are the things that I'm able to do that make my life enjoyable. I'm not glued to a telephone. I'm not stuck on a roof. I'm living my life and still earning an income. And when I came back from my 10 days, waiting for me were 2 consultation appointments that I was able to do on my schedule, on my time. So Some say opportunity knocks only once. That is not true. Opportunity knocks all the time, but you have to be ready for it. If the chance comes, you must have the equipment to take advantage of it. That's not me. That was said by an old-time Western star, Louis L'Amour, but it couldn't be more true. So sign up today, get certified by the end of October, and be a leader in your market and enjoy a profitable winter. So that says special ends Friday. It should say 72 hours. Today's Thursday. It ends Sunday morning. So I hope that this has been an educational session that has helped you feel in the chat box, in the question box, so that I can give you information to help you be more comfortable about joining us. We are going to have fun. We always have fun. 203K is fun. My life is fun. I enjoy my world, and I enjoy sharing that joy with you. So as I like to say to everybody, and it's exactly now 10 o'clock, I like to be on time. What home inspector doesn't? What is our motto? If we're on time, we're late. So as I like to say, whenever I end a webinar or whenever I'm finished with any kind of a training, until I'm able to support you in the future, be outstanding. Thank you. And don't forget to look for an email for our next webinar, which is 2 weeks from Wednesday, 2 weeks from yesterday, which is going to be on understanding FHA minimum property standards. We're going to give you an overview of what FHA MPS is going to be about so that when you come to the training, you'll be able to know right away what you're looking for when you're in the house cars. So thank you again, and good night.